What most people want to know when they ask the question, are psychics real? Is how do you know for sure that psychics are real? By the end of this video, you will know for sure how to tell whether or not a psychic is real. Hi, I'm T.S. Hall, the Stoic Medium. I'm a spiritualist minister who teaches old souls how to develop their spiritual awareness. I do this by using scientific methodology that allows you to develop psychic and healing skills that are undeniable that you can learn to display on command. If this sounds interesting, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell so you never miss a lesson. Before you can know whether or not psychics are real, we first have to have a working definition of what is psychic. And psychic is anything that enters your awareness beyond the scope of your physical senses and your physical instincts. Some people call this intuition. For some people, it's a gut feel. Some people call it clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. There are a lot of inputs and information that enter our awareness that don't seem to be directly related to our outward senses. Anything you perceive and understand that does not have a physical component to it can be considered psychic information. Using that definition of psychic, we can then look at our own lives to times when we were aware of something, we perceived something, we knew something that we shouldn't have known, that had no physical basis in reality, but somehow we knew. And more importantly, we knew that we knew. That time you met someone and you were just head over heels in lust with them because they met all of your physical, biological, breeding, survival of the species buttons, animal attraction, and pheromones going crazy. But somewhere else in your awareness was this little sense of knowing that this person is a jerk. They're an asshole. But you dated them anyway. You went out with them anyway. Sometimes you even married them. And at the end of that circumstance, when you're cleaning up the pieces and the messes of that karma of ignoring what you somehow knew but overrode with logic and reason, you kind of really know that you knew that it wouldn't work out, but you disregarded it. The other one that's very common is as you're driving in your car, as so many of us do, distracted, and you hear a word, stop, or all of a sudden you see some hyper-focused attention drawn to a wheel on a car that's getting ready to blow up. You see a car weaving with a hyper-focused attention 2 or 3 cars ahead, and you change lanes and somehow avoid an accident. You get a sense, this foreboding feeling that something is wrong. Something has changed in your universe, in your world. Then you get a phone call and someone close to you, someone you love, has died or passed away. We've all experienced those types of things from time to time, but not on command, not when we really need it. I think that's where prayer got invented. Being able to ask for on command when we really need it, what comes to us so naturally when we're not looking for it. And that's the main thing to understand. Each and every one of us are psychic. We do have from time to time a dream or a feeling or some circumstance that we know and we know that we cannot explain any way in the physical world from our physical senses. But we don't have that on command. We don't have it when we need it. That's why I created the Old Soul Academy, to help you use scientific methodology to tap into that psychic sense, that psychic ability, that spiritual awareness, if you will, when you need it on command with absolute certainty and verifiable predictability. Please accept my invitation to join us in the Facebook group, Old Soul Academy. It's private, where we can have conversations outside the public comment area of YouTube. The link will be in the description below. Here's the only way I've found in 30 years of doing this to know and know that you know whether or not someone is psychic. And that's to become a psychic yourself. If you're an old soul, somehow you know that psychic abilities are real. Somehow you know that there's life after death. You know all of these things. You've experienced them yourself. You've had these psychic experiences. Sometimes you scare yourself with your accuracy. Yes, psychics are real. Should you believe them? Well, here's my caveat on this. If you know them well, and what they tell you feels right with your own intuitive knowing, then yes. If they ask for lots and lots and lots and gobs and gobs and gobs of money, and they keep on going back to the trough over and over again, run fast, get the hell out of there. They're operating for their own benefit, not your own. In future videos, I'm going to talk about some of the scams and frauds I've helped clean up, usually involving lots of money and fear and worry over loved ones not being able to cross over. Spiritual truth is simple. Too simple. And the only way to know for sure whether or not you're being fed a line of bullshit is to develop your own intuitive knowing. Period. You have to be responsible for your own life and your own awareness. That's why I'm not a really popular psychic and spiritual teacher, because I believe in personal responsibility. 90% of the people in this world don't want to develop their own psychic abilities. They want to go to someone and have them feed them answers with a spoon. But if you're one of those people who is intrigued by what I'm saying, and somehow you know it's true, it's imperative that you learn to develop on command psychic abilities that you can display when you need them most. That's the promise of Old Soul Academy. That's what I teach. The scientific methodology part of it is quite simple. I show you the exercises and practices that you can use to test your psychic ability. If you get it right, yay. If you get it wrong, You can learn from each of those. More importantly, you'll learn the difference between your brain guessing and your mind knowing intuitively. With practice, you can become quite an expert. Better than 99% of those people out there making money giving psychic readings right now. But more importantly, you will find happiness. You will always know what your next step should be. And when you take it, you know exactly where it will lead you. That's the promise of spiritual awareness. Connecting your head and your heart, or your soul and your spirit, at that portal between the two of them, which we define as spiritual awareness. So that's it. To be able to know for sure if someone is psychic, you got to become pretty damn psychic and intuitive yourself. And the most beautiful part about this level of awareness is that by the time you're able to know and know that you know whether or not someone is psychic, you will find you no longer need to consult a psychic, because your knowing will always take you where you need to go. I want to thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. If you found it kind of lame and useless, give us a thumbs down. We need to know. We're learning how to do this. Again, if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss a lesson. Hit the little bell and you'll be notified when we publish new things, typically on Wednesdays and Sundays. And lastly, again, my invitation. Consider joining us in the Old Soul Academy Facebook group. It's free, it's private, and it's a place where we can have conversations outside the eyes of those who don't believe. Because here's the bottom line when we get down to all this stuff about psychics and spirituality and our intuitive knowing. If you believe this stuff, you don't need any evidence. If you don't believe this stuff, no amount of evidence will change your mind. So people will always chime in, criticize, and critique and make fun of what they don't understand. Old souls somehow understand. And it's my why, my mission, to help train you how to understand, how to know what you know, and more importantly, how to develop displayable, undeniable skills when you need them most. Until next time, my highest blessings.